This is the ultimate guide on how to use the skill builder in Jujutsu Shenanigans. I'm going to be showing you everything that you need to know on how to use the skill builder, such as variants, and so much more. So please watch all the way through, and let's just get stuck right in. So starting with the absolute basics, by pressing M on your keyboard, you will open up this menu. This is where you can get your inputs, your movesets, interactions. I'm going to be explaining everything. Yes, it might be a little bit confusing, but do not worry. But if you do press the plus button, you can actually go ahead and free build. So you can actually select free build. And if you want to give your friend free build, you can do that. There's also flight. Flight will help you navigate around the map. Maybe you want to build somewhere where there's not a lot of stuff, and you can obviously do that. But those are the basics on how to get into build mode. So now moving on to your moveset block. So obviously if you want to use a moveset, we need a moveset block, and you want to place it down. So once you've actually placed it down, what you actually want to go ahead and do is you want to obviously scale it. So once you've actually gone ahead and done that, do you see this button here? This button you can actually click to resize it. And you can actually scale it all the way up and stretch it like that. So in your input ID, you can name it whatever. Maybe you want to make a UG moveset, you can name it UG, whatever. But what you actually need to go ahead and do is you do need to have another block inside of that. And the block what you need to have is something which is called a touch block. So in your input, you want to make sure that you've got a touch block. If you do not have a touch block, this will not work, and you just want to scale it a little bit like that, and there we go. So now that you've done that, what you actually want to do is this. So do you know the ID of your moveset block? You want to basically have the same ID as your touch block. So my touch block has an output ID, and my moveset has an ID as well. So I'm going to copy it, and I'm going to put it on my touch block ID. And you know that you've done it correctly when you can see those arrows connecting to each other. So the output ID is the same. So both of these actually link to each other now. So what I recommend you doing now is that you want to click on your moveset and you want to go to custom. If you go to custom properties and you got replace skill if occupied, this will basically prevent your skill from overlapping. So just make sure you go ahead and turn that on. And yeah, basically let's say, quite hard to actually explain, but let's say that if I did not turn this on, the skill, what I'll basically get by touching this, it'll basically overlap one of my skills what I've already got. And yeah, let's just say make sure you are enabling that. What I also recommend you doing as well is turning on prevent override, hide in awakening, and you also want to have keep when moveset switches. So just make sure you copy these settings here. So we are now moving on to your timeline. So if you obviously go to skill, you can actually choose any skill in the game. Monkey Kid, Salaryman, literally anything. So you can add skills, you can literally choose from literally anything here. Specials, animation, sound, this is literally, it's got everything what you need here. Alright, so if you do go to skills and you collect a skill using Divergent Fist as an example, you can see that you can enable your variant or disable your variant. So if you want to have your variant skill, you can obviously disable it or enable it. It's down to your preference. So one of the most important things that you need to know now, which is really cool, is going to be animations. And I'm not lying. You can choose from any animation. Any animation in Jujutsu Shenanigans you can literally have. Either if you're using your M1s, maybe you're getting attacked by someone, literally anything, any animation, you can actually go ahead and customize literally everything that you need here about animations set here. As you can see, any animation you can actually get here. Alright, so now moving on to sound. So sound is also going to be really important. What I really recommend you doing is turning up the volume a little bit to 2, maybe even 3. The reason because of that is because if you got a black flash, you can't really hear the sound too much. So if the sound is a little bit too quiet, then you can obviously amend the sound to your liking. But something else that's really important is for ID. So I'm pretty sure you guys know how to get your song IDs or audio IDs, you just want to put it there. You can change the speed if you want as well. For all of those people out there that do not know how to go ahead and get their audio ID, what you want to actually go ahead and do is go to create, and then once you click create, you actually want to go ahead to store. So once you go to store, you got the option to go to audio, and in audio you've got tons of different stuff. So sound effects, you can go to trending sound effects, find one what you want, and once you do click on the sound ID that you like, this is pretty much how to go ahead and get the audio. So you want to go to more information, and then do you see this number right here? This is going to be the asset ID, what you can actually go ahead and grab. So you just want to copy that. It should be in the URL. You then want to paste it there, and you'll basically show there, as you can see. So that's pretty much how to get sound IDs. It's quite straightforward. So obviously moving on to awakening now, you can obviously add an awakening, and keep in mind you can also do minus awakening, which will basically remove awakening from you, or you can either go ahead and give you awakening 30. You can just go ahead and do that. I'm pretty sure you guys know how awakenings obviously work. So obviously health, you can go ahead and make it so it gives you 5 health, or you can make it so it gives you minus 10 health. You can also do that to evasions, plus 5 evasions, or maybe even minus 10 evasions. Just do it to your own liking. Now moving on to hit cancel toggle. So controls whether the attack animation continues if a hit does or not land. What I recommend you doing is obviously flipping this to make it work correctly. Now going to briefly go over the prompt block. So this is going to be very, very important. So I'm going to be explaining what the prompt block does actually go ahead and do right now. So what this will basically do is if you go near the interact button, if I press and hold E, it will basically give me my moveset. So a lot of you guys basically want to make it so if you press E to interact with that specific moveset like this, then I'll get that moveset, if you know what I mean. But for a lot of you, it actually don't work. So you just want to make sure. The reason why it don't work is because if I do stand out here and I press E, I'm interacting with it and it won't basically give me that moveset. You want to make sure that you expand the moveset block big enough, because if you are inside the moveset block and then you press E, it'll basically go ahead and give me that moveset as long as I'm inside of this box. So if the interact button was not working for you, you want to make sure that your moveset block is actually big enough and that you're inside of it. You also want to make sure that your output ID is basically the same as the moveset, obviously. So just make sure that your moveset block is the same as your interact block, and obviously the arrows will connect. And when you do go ahead and interact with this now, it should actually go ahead and work. So if you want to change the interaction, you see how it says interact. If you want to obviously change what it says and you want to set it to say UG moveset, you can actually go ahead and change that by doing that, which might be useful for some of you making some certain servers. So we can also go ahead and amend the duration. So do you know when you press E and it instantly gives it you can set it to like 3 seconds. And then if you do go ahead and basically hold E, it takes 3 seconds for you of holding E to actually get it. So if you want to change that, that's what you can actually go ahead and change. So if you want to go ahead and get a black flash, this is what you want to do. So if you go to your skills, obviously, and then you go ahead and click wait, what I recommend you doing is setting it to 0.33, and then you go ahead back to the moveset again, and then you add another skill. What this will basically do, it will give you a black flash. So let me go over these. So do you see, this is the output ID. This is going to be custom. So do you know your hotbar? When you get this skill move in your hotbar, this is basically going to be the name of the skill. So I'm just going to call it move 1. This is going to be your cooldown. So this one right here is going to be your cooldown, and this one here is going to be your hotbar number. So I'm going to change that to number 5. So when I do equip the moveset, it's going to be on number 5 in my hotbar. So now that you guys know that, this is going to be the display name. You don't really need to know about that, but so I just want to let you guys know, you cannot go ahead and get your moveset whilst you are in well, whilst you're in build mode. So you want to make sure that you're out of build mode. And if you do go ahead, if you want to go out of build mode, you can press a plus button, and then you can go out of build mode by pressing this. But if I do walk inside of this now, I should then be able to go ahead and get this moveset. So if it's not working for you, this is probably what you need to do. So you just want to make sure, like I said, you want to make sure that you are scaling everything properly like this. So it's very important that you scale everything properly, very important. And now that should go ahead and work for me. So if you can't get this skill, what I recommend you doing is this. So if you do go ahead and click this, so if you go out of build mode and you can't get the skill, if you do go ahead to your moveset block again and go to custom and properties, you want to basically remove hide and awakening. Just copy my settings. So these are the settings what you want to be keeping. And if you do walk into the moveset block, you should then be able to get it. So we should be able to go ahead and get Black Flash now, because I did show you how to obviously get Black. There we go, Black Flash, as you can see. So yeah, that's how to get Black Flash. So if you do press it 2 times, Black Flash, as you can see. So that's pretty much how to get Black Flash on your moveset. So now if you want to add animations, you want to click an animation what you want, and then what you want to do is click the animation. You can use this button to obviously move where you want your animation to be. By moving this up and down, you can select the part of the animation what you want. However, it will basically get sped up once you've done that, because it's obviously looping over and over again. But you want to select a animation what you want. I'm going to go ahead and do instinct, because it looks pretty funny. So if you do scale this all the way down, it's going to be doing it really quickly, as you can see. But if you do scroll all the way down, you got speed, and you can change that to like 0.1. So if you do scroll all the way back up, it will now do this. It's kind of too slow, so I'm going to change it to 0.4, like that. That's still a little bit too quick, so you obviously got to amend it to your liking, as you can see. And that's obviously goofy, but I just want to show you guys how it does work. So once you've actually done that, I'm now going to go out of build mode. I'm going to go inside of the moveset again, and then you'll basically get that animation, as you can see. And that's pretty much how to change your animation. So something what you can do once you've already got a block is you want to add a eraser block. So rather than you resetting and always coming back, what I recommend you doing is getting an eraser block. Then once you've done that, you want to basically change the size of it. So when you walk into the eraser block, this is what will happen. It will basically erase. So you want to put the input ID, what you want to erase. I want it to be UGs. I'm going to put the input ID. And now if I do walk into it, it should go ahead and remove it. I might need to make it a little bit bigger. But this will basically go ahead and remove your moveset. So this is where not gate is going to be useful. So a not gate is going to be very useful for using the eraser. So you want to give it the same ID, so the not gate input ID of UGS and that, and it's just going to link it together. So now if I walk into the eraser block, it's just going to erase everything, as you can obviously see. Now everything's got erased. So that is why a not gate is going to be very important. And if I do walk into the moveset block, I've got test again, and as you can see, it should give me the animation now. Yeah, as you can see, the animation's like a little bit goofy. So if you did amend your moveset block and you want to erase it, that's something what you can set up that will help you out a lot. I know that you are looking at this right now and you might be wondering, like, how do I know which one to erase a block? So what I recommend you doing is getting something like a part, and then like coloring the part a certain color. So, and I recommend you putting this inside of the eraser block like this. So once you've actually done that, you now know if you walk near this red block, what's going to happen is that you're basically going to get your moves erased, as you can see. So that's something what you can actually set up that will help you navigate. So we are now moving on to visuals. So there's loads of other blocks what you can use, but this is where it's going to get a little bit confusing. So obviously we got hitbox. Obviously you can use this to change your hitbox. So yeah, if you want to change your hitbox of your moveset, so pretty much when you punch, with that specific skill, you can change the hitbox of it. So if you do click hitbox, you can change the stun, how long you're stunned for, the size of that hitbox. If you want to make the hitbox really big, if you make it too big, you can actually stun everyone around the map. So yeah, that's pretty much how the hitbox does work. Quite straightforward. Moving on to visual. So visual is basically something what you can do, you can like change the visuals of stuff. So I'm gonna select circle glow. I'm gonna select the color to be blue. Alt color, I'm gonna set this to be, let's go ahead and change that to purple. Opacity, let's change that to 50. And you can change the time and the size of that. So now if I do go ahead and remove my moveset and I select this now, you'll be able to see that I've now got a effect, as you can see. Check that out. You see that white effect? So that's pretty much what it does do. You can just add a bunch of extra effects to your moveset. I recommend you just experimenting with it. So energy sparks, which was white, as you guys saw. I'm going to change that, so we've actually gone ahead and got ourselves green. So if I do go ahead and remove, then I get my moveset back, keep your eyes open for the green sparks. So that's pretty much how to get visuals to your moveset. You can amend it, change the size, the opacity, all of that good stuff. Anyway, we are now going to move on to some more commands, what you can actually do. But I mean, just experiment with all of these. You should be able to learn it quite quickly. But that's a full guide on how to use the Jujutsu skill builder. If you got any tips, let me know down in the comment. But the more you experiment with that, you'll be able to learn more. I just wanted to show you the basics. So I hope this video helped you out, and peace out.